This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Hello viewers, you're watching Pulse of Africa. I'm Jelani Tesfaye for the main news. First, our top stories for today. Uganda's $5 billion EACOP pipeline gates funding boost. Botswana signs agreement to establish SADC parliament. AU finalizes troop deployment plans in Somalia. UN chief calls for collective climate action. Now, the news in detail. Representatives from the African Union Commission AUC, Somalia, and troop contributing countries have concluded a 4-day meeting to finalize plans for capacity building in the peace mission in Somalia. The meeting finalized the force composition and deployment plans for the African Union Support and Stabilization Mission in Somalia, AUSOM. One of the key deliverables of this meeting is the finalization of the Statement of Unit Requirement, SUR, which details the specific troop and police capabilities required for AUSOM to effectively execute its mandate, said Billy Atwoki-Winter, head of the AUC delegation. The agreed Statement of Unit Requirements provides a detailed force composition outlining the operational and logistical capability requirements for AUSOM's military and police contingents, the AU mission said. Now to South Sudan. The Special Representative of the UN Secretary-General, SRSG, and head of the UN mission in South Sudan, UNMISS, has urged all parties to demonstrate restraint and immediately restore calm. Between Friday and Saturday, a series of violent clashes erupted between the South Sudanese army and armed youth in Nasser town in the northern eastern state of Upper Nile, injuring a UN peacekeeper, according to a UNMISS statement on Tuesday. The UN mission is also deeply concerned by ongoing tensions between organized forces in the southwestern state of Western Equatoria, which resulted in deaths, property destruction, and displacement. Nicolas Haysom, SRG and head of UNMISS, strongly condemned any violence targeting UN peacekeepers and reiterated that such actions constitute a violation of international law. Moving on to Botswana. Botswanan President Duma Boko on Wednesday signed an agreement amending the Southern African Development Community SADC Treaty to establish the SADC Parliament as one of the organization's institutions. At the signing ceremony, Boko said the move is a political decision, calling on SADC countries to harmonize their laws to address regional challenges. The agreement to amend the treaty allows for the transformation of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, launched in 1997, into a regional parliament with enhanced legislative authority. For this to take effect, a majority, if not all, of the SADC member states must sign the agreement. Shifting to South Africa. South Africa will use the G20 presidency to drive stronger global commitments to climate action and environmental sustainability, Minister of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment Dion George said. George made the remarks at the first virtual meeting of the G20 Environment and Climate Sustainability Working Group. In his opening address, the minister outlined an ambitious agenda focused on biodiversity, climate finance, waste management, and ocean conservation. With less than 5 years remaining to meet the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, George said poverty and inequality remain pressing global challenges, while carbon dioxide emissions continue to rise. In other news, the UN Secretary-General called for collective climate action, warning of increasing climate challenges. Speaking at the 16th Petersburg Climate Dialogue in Berlin on Wednesday, Antonio Guterres said every country must step up and play their part. Urging G20, the largest emitters and economies, to do more, Guterres warned of increasing climate challenges, highlighting that they affect the vulnerable most with higher living costs. We are indeed at a turning point to the future, he underscored, reiterating the need for urgent action and leadership to meet the long-term 1.5-degree limit. Guterres further affirmed that the United Nations Climate Promise is helping 100 countries prepare new climate plans. He called for driving finance to developing countries and the full implementation of the COP29 finance agreement. Moving on to our next story. Russian Finance Minister Anton Siluanov said Moscow is working on financial instruments within BRICS, including a cross-border payment system. At the BRICS platform, we are considering our various financial innovations, including a cross-border payment system, which can be based, in addition to bilateral settlements, on national currencies, taking into account digital technologies and digital financial assets, he said. Siluanov pointed out that Moscow is closely following developing technologies. Building a financial infrastructure is very important for the development of trade and the economies of our countries, he noted.
The story of resurgent Ethiopia and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel, all the time. Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of
Turning to business news. The company developing Uganda's EACOP crude pipeline has closed the first allocation of external financing from a syndicate of institutions, including commercial banks and Afreximbank, a statement from EACOP Limited said on Wednesday. Among the financiers are Standard Bank, Stanbic Bank Uganda, KCB Bank Uganda, and Saudi Arabia's Islamic Corporation for the Development of the Private Sector. The successful closing of this first tranche represents a significant milestone, it was indicated. Linking oil fields in Uganda to Tanga Port in Tanzania, EACOP is part of a broader $15 billion energy plan by Total Energies, China CNOOC, and other partners to develop the Kingfisher and Tilenga discoveries close to Lake Albert. Finally, U.S. President Donald Trump announced plans to impose 25% auto tariffs, with the measure set to take effect on April 2. What we're going to be doing is a 25% tariff for all cars that are not made in the United States, Trump said in the White House Oval Office. We start off with a 2.5% base, which is what we're at, and go to 25%. We are signing executive order today. It goes into effect April 2. We start collecting on April 3, Trump said. The U.S. president argued that the tariffs would encourage more production to relocate to the United States, generate new revenue for the government, and help reduce the national debt. Before concluding, let us provide you with the latest updates on global commodities prices. Now to weather updates. That is all for today, and thanks for watching Pulse of Africa.
Thank you.
This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.